because he had been so important to me. I encountered him in 1970 when I was a junior in high school at a boarding school in Connecticut, organizing a teach-in on the Vietnam War. When Nixon sent troops into Cambodia, all of these colleges went on strike around the country, and our school was 20 minutes from Yale, and they were on strike, and we wanted to go on strike, and so we organized some teach-ins. Someone came in from Cambridge, an anti-war organizer, and at the end of his talk, someone asked if he could recommend books that would help us understand what was happening in the world, and one of the books he recommended was Growing Up Absurd, which was how I came to read that book. I read it, and something in me, I loved it, and I started reading everything I could find by Paul Goodman. The film that I'm making, what I'm hoping to do is to tell this story of his life and his work, and what was it about his work and his life that spoke to so many young people. I mean, he's been described as the father figure to the New Left, the godfather of the New Left. And he published this book in 1960, Growing Up Absurd, and almost overnight he became famous. And I'm also very interested in introducing his thinking to a new generation, because I feel that not only is his story an important story and part of our history, but I feel that a lot of his ideas and his life are still very relevant to, unfortunately, to the situations that we're living in and facing today.
And I couldn't find anything that I wanted to write about. It was I'd always obsessed about the '60s as a kid, so I wanted to write about the hippies and Haight-Ashbury or something like that. It was going to be something about the counterculture, but I couldn't find a specific link or theme to focus on. And as Jonathan said, I just happened to be going through this '60s reader, which was just very dense and very diffuse. And there was this one section in there that from an author I'd never heard of. And it was all about patriotism, and he opened it talking about George Washington. So instantly, I connected with somebody who tapped into something. It was a different argument. It was a different approach. There was something about him that was unique that I had never come across, and I'd never heard of him. It was as though all the reading I had done preparing for this, and 4 years of college, 3 years of college at that point. I'd never come across his name, and I'd never come across anybody speaking so clearly and so directly about the problems then, from a historical context, but also the same exact arguments that could be applied today. I mean, he talks about things like community, he talks about animal vitality, real wealth, a standard of living that's worth something beyond cars and television and I mean, he's speaking directly. I mean, he was writing this in 1959, published in 1960, but everything could be applied to today. It's complete continuity between that time and today.
I'm hoping that some of you here may be able to help more than you have already, or know people at foundations who have foundations, people that might be interested, and that's so part of the purpose of this is to kind of get the word out that this film is being made. The sample you saw tonight is on the website, so if you want to tell someone about it, they can go look at this. And our fiscal sponsor is the Film Forum of New York, so we can receive tax-deductible grants and donations, and we're trying to raise about $120,000 to finish the film. And once we get that money, we can finish the film.